the mind drives you crazy, and the mind can go in so many ways, and we are firing 75,000 thoughts average every day. So not every thought is like really meant to be even experienced, you know. So when you see that your mind wanders off, go back, go into your heart center, and then focus on what is really important. Over centuries, the musical scale got changed, and the C note became a lower frequency. And there's a reason behind this, you know, because at one point we have been playing harmonic music, and harmonic music makes harmony in people. And this is not necessarily what systems want, because they want to have people being out of harmony, you know, like being in dissonance. And this frequency is exactly, and this is an interesting fact to this. Many musicians actually knew about this frequency. The most important or most famous guy was John Lennon. He wrote Imagine in the key of 528 hertz.
Welcome to the Health Fix podcast, where health junkies get their weekly fix of tips, tools, and techniques to have limitless energy, sharp minds, and fit physiques for life. Hey, health junkies. On this episode of the Health Fix podcast, I'm interviewing Sigmar Berg, and we're going to be talking about something called the Love Tuner. Now, when I did the interview with him, I didn't have the Love Tuner, and since then, I've had it. Now, this thing is cool. So wear it around your neck, and then when you need to get in a space of Zen, you just blow through it. Oh, wrong side. Hear that? That is the sound of 528 hertz. That is the vibration of your heart. Did you know your heart has an electrical capability? More than just beating and more than just sending blood through your body, it vibrates, right? It sends out messages. Now that might sound woo, but here's the thing. Ancient Chinese medicine has been talking about this for years. When I look at pulses, I'm looking at a heart pulse. I'm looking at how you're vibrating, your energy. And when we talk about energy, this is what we're talking about, the vibration, what we're giving off. That 528 hertz is the vibration of love, the heart, and helping folks get more connected. In the world today, we need some serious love. We have been disconnected like no other. And so Sigmar and I talk all about hertz. We talk about using these little devices to help us exhale longer so we can improve our breath and our nervous system balance, but also using it as a quick tool to get in a loving, happy, vibrating well state. Now, I know a lot of people are working on their mindset. They're working so hard to meditate and really just feel chill. This is a quick way to get in a very relaxed state anywhere. So let's introduce you to Sigmar Berg and learn more about my new favorite little tool here, the Love Tuner. Sigmar Berg, welcome to the Health Fix podcast.
Janine, it's a pleasure to being on your show.
My goodness, I love the concept of the Love Tuner, and I can't wait to dive into that. But I always have to ask folks, what was it that brought you on this journey? How did you get started with working with breathwork, meditation, really knowing that we are more than just little creatures, all individual work, just hanging out on this earth?
I was into meditation for a while, and I did a guided meditation with breathwork and the frequency. And this was actually the beginning. So it opened my, I would not say my spirit, but I just experienced the meditation on such a deep level. And this frequency literally touched my heart, and then everything came together, and it became, this mission was formed, and we said, this is going to be our love and peace mission, and the Love Tuner going to be the tool. And little did I know that this becomes really a love and peace mission. It was just something where I know this is important for myself, important for the people around me. And then this mission was formed at one point. And then we kept on rolling. And meanwhile, this is nearly 10 years ago. And it's became this little tool, what I'm wearing around my neck. And it's just an easy access to meditation. So because the frequency, what you basically do when you use the Love Tuner, you do a conscious breathing break, you connect to the 528 hertz frequency, what makes you arrive in the here and now. And on a spiritual level, you invite love in your life. So that's basically what it is. So it's a quick fix. It works instantly. And this is what turned me on to do it, because as I was meditating for many years, and I really liked it. And the beauty of it is, and I never tell anybody, cut your meditation or your spiritual hygiene short. But if you have a tool like this, it's really your little friend, your little helper, your secret weapon, and your secret weapon is love, and it's anywhere accessible. And you do it for yourself. You don't need like an app. You don't need a singing ball, or you need to pull over and then sit in a meditation for 20 minutes. It's just literally, it's your breath. You take the breathing break, you disconnect your nervous system, the parasympathicus, from the sympathetic nervous system. You get out of the fight and flight mode, what we are all in to whatever reason, because this is just how we are wired. And this gives you a different perspective. Not that it solves your problems, but it really gives you a different perspective. And then the more you're open to magic, to unconditional love, to that we're all connected, there's all is one and one is all, you feel this idea. You don't understand it in your head, but you feel it on a heart level. And this is what I wanted. This is the part of the mission. What I'm doing is bringing people out of their head into their hearts. And this is where we're all connected. Our intellect separates us, but on a heart level, we all feel each other. And this is when you interact with people, hearts are always curious. They always want to connect. And our intellect literally goes like, the guy's wearing a weird hat. Why should I talk to him? Well, stupid stuff. You know what I mean? And but if we take all these layers away that separates us, we are one. And this oneness is the most important thing. And this is why the love tuner is more than a product. And this is why I created it, because it was a love and peace mission. This idea about unifying and overcoming separation, this is what drives me, and this is what the love tuner stands for. Besides that, it's good for you on a physical level. It's more the mission that was driving me.
I like the mission a lot, because right now I think we've had kind of a little bit of an upset to divide people and get us literally forgetting that we are all one human connection. I mean, and our heart energy. I love that you're mentioning this.
Yeah. And this, like when you trust the heart, you change your life, because that's what it is, because all limitations are in our mind. And the mind is so easy to be tricked by mass media, whatever you call it, what can influence us. But the heart is nothing that you can trick. It's impossible. The heart connects only to the truth. And when you speak from your heart, you speak the truth. There's no bending reality. There's no bending this energy. And I think that's the most important thing for us, to be more in our heart energy in general, like not only when you interact with other people, but for yourself, because the mind drives you crazy, and the mind can go in so many ways, and we are firing 75,000 thoughts average every day. So not every thought is like really meant to be even experienced, So when you see that your mind wanders off, go back, go into your heart center, and then focus on what is really important to you.
Such important advice. And really, this day and age, I think a lot of people are really trying to figure out, okay, we hear this heart-centered statement, we hear go into your heart center. And I think a lot of us, even when we begin to do with breath work and do the meditation, we don't even know where to begin. And having a tool that's not an app. I love that we're not dealing with EMFs, all of that. I love that it's a tool that we can tangibly touch something and connect.
Yeah. And this is what it does, because I don't want to talk down on any modality which is out there, and whatever helps people, whatever rocks their boat is great. But I just experienced myself that this analog tool that you play like as an instrument, you have this physical sensation, it's not a spoken word. It's not a meditation that somebody talks to you. It's not an app. It's something that you really experience physically. So the reaction of tuning, I'll show it real quick. I think Zoom doesn't pick up the tone, but it's 528 hertz, so it is like a high pitch C from the tone. So you inhale, you exhale, and when you exhale like this, your vibration of this instrument goes into your head, all over your body, and even goes about 8 foot out of your body. So you're in the sound resonance. And what happens when you're in the sound resonance is it aligns your water molecules in your body in a physical way. So this is where we had our knowledge from. So the first researches we did, we all went back to people that have been working with water. And one of the main guys was Emoto, the hidden messages in water, when he was testing how frequency, how music, how bad words, how swearing, or how prayers literally impact water. So, and when you look at a microscope, you see the reaction of water. When you play, and we have this on our homepage on lovetuner.com on the science page, when you play this frequency on water, you can watch it under the microscope, how it restructures from a morph shape because it's polluted or whatever, it got disturbed because it came out of a water pipe. When you tune on it, within 30 seconds, it restructures to the perfect hexagonal crystal shape of a mountain spring. And this happens within you. So we are like 75% water, or 91% our blood is water. So it works on a physical level. So it's not like woo-woo, it's not like an esoteric gimmick where you have to do something that it works physically. And by this alignment of the water molecules, that gives you the feeling of relaxation. And then, I mean, we all know breath work, you know, you inhale through the nose, you exhale through the tuner. And the powerful thing is whatever modality you use and what you know about breath work, this thing gives you an audible feedback. So by the time the tone is not steady anymore, you know that you need to inhale and do it again. And so over time, when you get a love tuner, you have maybe at the beginning, depending on if you're an athlete or if you're not, so you have like 15 seconds. Some people have right away 30 seconds. But over time, you know, you go longer and longer, you get a stronger lung volume, your immune system improves, and you just become the master of your own breath, you know. And this is what it is, because the power of the breath is everything. Like it's your best friend through your entire life. And the first thing we do when we come here, we inhale, and before we exit, we exhale, you know. And in between, when we are mastering our breath, we are mastering already our life, because we can regulate everything. And this is just a combination of breath work and sound healing, and this all in this little tool that you wear around your neck. And you don't have to be, you know, like in a meditation setup. You can do it in the morning before you even wake up, tune in bed. And this is the tone that you set for your experience. And then whatever, you're going to run, you stop somewhere, you do it again. And during the day, you know, like you have a stressful situation, step outside for a second, even in the car when you're by yourself, tune, and it will help you. And the more you tune, it regulates, rebalances your body. And it's not necessarily the spiritual way, because everybody wants to have enlightenment, like from one day to the other, you know. They do so many things wrong, and then they think, oh, I have this tool, or I do whatever is out there, ayahuasca, and then they think within a day or whatever months, they can reset what was done wrong, sometimes over decades. And this is not how it works, you know. When you're, I don't want to say messed up, because I don't think that everybody needs to heal from something. The love tuner helps you to heal, but it's also for people who are super happy and everything is fine to even perform on a higher level. You know, it's not always coming from the lack thing. It's also from like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm getting older, or I'm like whatever. I'm having a different stage in my life, and I want to just experience more. I want to perform on a higher level. You know, I want to be the best version of myself. And this is what this little thing is for. You know, it really helps you to take care about yourself.
I have so many things I could say. Like one, I could see how it would help people who struggle with the exhale, right? Because I have a lot of clients in my practice that are like, I don't know how to long to exhale. You know, what do I do? Now we've got incentive, because now we've got vibrational tone.
Yeah.
So exciting there. Now, of course, a lot of people are thinking like, okay, 528 hertz, yes, higher end of the C, and C
Yeah.
is what we use to tune instruments as well as humans.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys choose the 528 based on what you saw with how the water changed based on the tone with it, or did you choose it based on research too, or kind of multiple things altogether?
I tell you one thing, I literally, I mean, it was not an accident, because nothing is an accident in life. It was a purpose why. But we discovered the frequency, and we looked into it, what this frequency really is. But I mean, little did I know what a journey it will be for me to even dig out this ancient knowledge. And when I talk about this frequency, it's nothing that I invented. Nobody invented 528 hertz. It's a cosmic frequency that was always around. And for many centuries, this was actually our regular C note on the musical scale. And over centuries, the musical scale got changed, and the C note became a lower frequency. And there's a reason behind this, because at one point we have been playing harmonic music, and harmonic music makes harmony in people. And this is not necessarily what systems want, because they want to have people being out of harmony, like being in dissonance. And this frequency is exactly, and this is an interesting fact to this. Many musicians actually knew about this frequency. The most important or most famous guy was John Lennon. He wrote Imagine in the key of 528 hertz. So yeah, and it's still, I mean, when you look back, this song is now, I don't know, 40, 50 years old, and there's not one love and peace song in the world that is more known. Imagine, everybody knows it, and so he knew about this frequency, and he composed this in 528 hertz. And I think, and this is why when I talk to musicians, I always tell them, listen, guys, go back, retune your instrument, and the A tone gives the rest of the musical scale. So right now, our A tone is 440 hertz. If you bring the A tone to 444 hertz, you have the C at 528 hertz. So it's a super simple thing. The music sounds, you don't even hear it unless, I mean, you're like a musician and you hear like a higher pitch, but the music is the same. The only thing what happens, it becomes a harmonic music. And it's a music that touches your heart. So this is why it's a part of my mission a little bit. And this is why I'm so going into the depths of tuning, because this is what a part of my mission is, to talk to you musicians and bring awareness and say, listen, please retune your instruments.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. And we've talked for years. Yeah, the note of C was what we were using to tune, but if we've been tuning at a lower vibration, then we're kind of tuning our instruments and ourselves off.
Exactly. And I look around us, we are all a little bit off, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the one thing that's been consistent in my life with acupuncture and being an acupuncturist is my tuning forks. I love the daylights out of those suckers. And now I'm going, oh, how can I incorporate this into acupuncture sessions with folks? They don't have needles in their mouth. We could do this. Have you heard of anybody doing anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know an acupuncturist who is using it. Well, maybe some people are doing it, but we have a lot of doctors on board and a lot of therapists, especially that do like energy work. So they tune the people when they're working with them. And we have seen it with chiropractors. We have seen it with Reiki. Everything that has to do with energetic work. So when you, for example, do acupuncture and you tune with your client, either the person has a love tuner too. So I would recommend that before the session, after the session, you do a conscious breathing with them, they tune in. And while you're working on them, whenever you feel it, that they need some energy in whatever field, you can tune them into this frequency, because it comes out of you and they feel it. It's just like, I mean, this is a stupid example, but it's like if somebody gives you a car, and the same car, and one is like super powerful and fast and has a strong engine, and the other one is not that strong, which one would you pick? So you pick the more performance one. And this is what Love Tuner actually does. It gives everybody the extra kick, whatever modality doctors are using, whatever they are teaching. With the Love Tuner, it's just like this little extra kick. And the next thing is you can give it to your patients and say, listen, take this home, because whatever experience they have with you, whatever you do on your healing modality, it's captured on a cellular level. So every time when they tune at home, they take something from you, what you did to them. You know what I mean? It gives one thing, so it makes this thing full. Like it's in between, like whatever, they come back a week later, and the tune at home, they already tuned in when they show up for the next session with you. And you are basically setting the anchor with them, and they can always access this knowledge, what they have on a cellular level with the love tuner anytime, anywhere. This is basically the message what I have and from many doctors, because they tell me, listen, I was always trying so hard to bring people to the state of mind, or well, I always call it the state of no mind, because this is what you actually want to have. And they say, listen, the love tuner just is a good helper for me. It helps me, it helps my clients to relax, my sessions with them, no matter if it's chiropractor or whatnot, it's just more powerful.
It makes sense. It makes sense. So on your website, you have people doing the love tuner together. So I'm guessing that in a doctor-patient relationship kind of situation, you're tuning together, one's tuning separate. How are a lot of folks doing it?
Yeah, so I mean, tuning together is super powerful because, like, your patients, they all tell you not only that they come and say because you're great in what you're doing, but everybody tells you something, you know what I mean? Everybody has a conversation. And when you tune with someone, you have a real conversation. You have a heartfelt conversation because your hearts connect in this frequency, and more information from you to your patients comes, than in any spoken word. So this tuning together is beyond the blah, blah, blah. So, obviously we all talk before we do something, but often, and you will recognize this when you do this with your clients, you just go like, well, everything's said, let's start. And this is because you're sinking into this frequency field, you're sinking into harmony together. And this is just a perfect thing to start a session, no matter what you're doing.
Sounds great. It sounds great. I'm thinking like, okay, I start my day, I start my session, I drive with it. Like how many times a day if you had to ballpark, how many times do you use it a day? What's on average for you?
I use it definitely consciously 3 times. So I do it first thing in the morning, like before I'm really awake, when you're not in the awake state, when you're like so half asleep. So I grab somehow my tuner and just tune. And I sometimes do only 2 or 3 cycles. It's not even about a full-on breath work. It's more like, getting into the sound, getting into this frequency. And then whenever I go on a run in the morning, nearly every day, so I stop somewhere and then I do a conscious, tuning session. So I stay like at least 6 cycles, 10 cycles, whatever feels good. And then I do it for sure before I go to bed, because it's great for sleep. If you have like insomnia, it helps tremendously. And then I do it, and this is why I cannot tell you how often I tune, because every time when something comes up during the day, I just do it as a reflex already. You jump in your car, you look at your clock and go, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make this. So your brain goes right away, oh my God, I'm gonna be late. And so at one point you give in and you just tune, and no matter if you come too late but it changes you. It's just like, okay, it relieves what we call stress. And I mean, this is the most important thing. So because stress, if you don't control your stress, it gets further and further. Stress doesn't stop at stress. It goes all the way to crazy anxieties. It goes to panic attacks, and the last consequence is burnout. And this is what our society is fighting the most, and then you make the complete wrong decision. You go and take pills or whatnot. So every time when stress comes up, and this happens, even if it's positive stress, it doesn't matter. But use the love tuner, regulate yourself, and then just reset.
It sounds so amazing. I can't wait to try it out. And guys, I will post when we release this podcast on my experience. Now, of course, you got my mind thinking, like, I imagine yoga studios, folks, the building filled, the room filled. What's been the most amount of people you've had in one place using the Love Tuner together? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was an a love tuner seminar, and it was about 1,000 people, a little bit more than 1,000
Whoa.
people. And I have to say, it was something for me, myself, like it was like a rock concert, if you can imagine. You're standing on stage, and this power what comes from people in general, and this was just it was tremendous. But it even happens, when a family tunes together, like 4 people or 3 people, and then you have friends come together and you tune together. It is so powerful, even like everything from like 2, 3 people, and then you have 20 people. It's unreal what happens. The frequency is so beautiful and so strong, and everybody that is in this tuning group, you feel right away unity. And this is what everybody told me. It's like, and in our seminars, what we did for a long time was like literally tuning people in, and then also making them aware about their heart field. And then literally like random people, we picked them out and said, listen, just look at each other till you really feel your heart energy tune together, connect in this frequency. And then literally, when you feel it, tell the person that you love this person and that you bless this person. And it's like, you can always say something like this, like hippie-esque spiritual, I love you and I bless you. But if you come to the point that you really connect and you feel the heart energy of the other person, like, I mean, we have seen people cry in the seminars, like literally, like being touched by a complete stranger. And you go like, how did this happen? Because when we feel heart love from our hearts, and when we connect on a heart level, this is so overwhelming because most of us, and me including, we protect our hearts. And because like our mind tells us to protect this. And if you're in the position to really open your heart and receive and also give at the same time, this is where we feel so humble, and this is when the toughest guys tear up. It's like it's on a heart level, you can receive and you can give endlessly.
Ah, it's so what's needed right now. It's so what's needed right now because you could just feel it, right, in the vibes. And so I can't wait. I can't wait. So obviously you've kind of picked up on this. You have a journey that you wrote about with your book, One Journey. I would love to hear a little background on what we can find in your book so that folks, if they're looking for something to read that's inspiring and also uplifting, give us the scoop on the book. Give me a little background.
Yeah. So the book, I have a copy here. So that's the book. It's published by Waterside Publishing House, but it's available on Amazon. And it's called One Journey, the Love Tuner book. And for me, it was not uh, so important to write about myself, but obviously there's a little bit autobiography in there that people understand where I'm coming from. That I'm not a guru or whatever. I'm just a regular guy that discovered this frequency at one point, and it's a little bit about my life journey and how it changed my life, and hopefully it will change the life of many people. But it's basically frequency knowledge, because whatever you Google in the internet, there's so much misinformation out there. And in this book, I brought everything together from century of knowledge about frequency, also the musical scale stuff. What I said, I talk about all the solfeggio frequencies. I talk about how everything is frequency and vibration. And then it also goes into spirituality. So I'm talking about the spiritual laws. And it's basically a guidance to recognize what is in vibe with you and what is a bad vibe. So, and first of all, you need to understand how you vibe yourself. So, what is in dissonance and what is in harmony with myself, and how do I vibe? This is a lot of people don't know this, what I mean? But if you find yourself, and this is why I always say, we always talk about one love, and we talk about love will, conquer the world. Yes, it will. Absolutely. But first of all, before love can even reach you, you need to be authentic, and authenticity is the key to wholeness. If you are not authentic to yourself, if you don't know who you are, if you're pretending, then love will not find you, and you can also not spray love. It's one cycle. So authenticity is the most important thing, and this is what I encourage people in this book, is to, first of all, it's about self-empowerment, but also to be as true to yourself and really be authentic. Be an authentic human being. And I think this is key in our society, because this is the only way we can access love, and this is the only way we can really connect and overcome this separation that most of the stuff is made up. Like, it's not, nobody wakes up in the morning and goes like, oh, I have to fight for this cause. No, there's no cause to fight for. It is something that was created in your mind. And at the end of the day, if you start killing your own brother and your own sisters, what we're doing around the world, this is not what is in our human nature. Yes, we do it because this was an imprint that we have, but not on a high level.
Yeah. Oh, so many things I could say here. How do I bring this into my one question? Because I think a lot of people have heard the one love concept, right? And they've maybe seen the Rastafarian kind of movement. They've kind of seen it with Bob Marley kind of. Tell us a little bit more about the movement, about possibly musicians that that are bringing in some of the frequencies that are harmonic versus, I guess, disharmonic would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like healing music out there, so whatever you can find in the internet. But my focus right now is like we work also with some classic musicians, but my focus right now is electronic music because this is what is so hip right now and what has such a huge following. And I remember I was born in Austria, so I was very into this music scene. I know the electronic music scene in Ibiza since I'm whatever a teenager, and I experienced all this movements from like trance music to techno music. And it's very interesting when you look at the possibilities that you have with our new technology to really get those DJs to play harmonic music, and it sounds the same. And this is really my focus right now, to have all those DJs who are becoming like basically like heroes. Back in the days we have been watching rock bands, and now DJs are feeling the huge stadiums. It's not always on a club level anymore. And this is what my main focus is. And we have some top DJs already on board that are experimenting with the frequency. And it's gonna be a matter of time till a big event will come out with the right people, and they're gonna say, hey, listen, why don't we play this all in the key of 528 hertz? And this is what I want to create, and we all know, music or where everything's business, people want to make money, and and often it takes the right soul to go like, hey, this is my calling, I'm gonna do this. And so this is like, as again, we want to touch those artists' hearts and go like, hey, listen, you're out there, you're like a half god for a lot of people. So, give something back, and play the people into harmony, and help them to connect. And this is why, coming back to Bob Marley and One Love, I mean, this guy was a genius. He was like, what he said, I mean, that was a very enlightened soul, and and when you take this then out of in our culture, it becomes this one thing like, oh, there was a reggae guy, he said one love, and
Right.
we also love, and we literally dumb it down, we don't give him the respect, like, to, if somebody talks about one love and he composes this music, then you better listen to this, and it's not only made to smoke a nice spliff, it's heartfelt music, and we have a lot of those poets out there and a lot of these enlightened musicians. It's just like we also need to listen to those messages, and incorporate it in our life, and it's not, we also as a society, we need to do our homework, when we have a poet like this standing on stage talking about one love, then it's also our thing not to only just enjoy it and wiggle a little bit and dance, but to really go like, oh wow, that's a message. I need to incorporate this in my family. I need to incorporate this in my relationship. If you own a company, incorporate this in your business, and you will see. First of all, it's the karmic, thing that doing good stuff, what comes around goes around, and you just make people happier. And this is why it's so important that people really listen, and again, this is why frequency, love, it all comes together.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I really do hope that, folks do look at music where folks are talking about one love, and definitely Bob Marley more than just 420 and smoking weed. It's funny. My parents actually never were weed smokers. They just loved Bob Marley so much, and the message, right? And this is what I was taught as a kid. And it's funny because it's, now here we are full circle, coming back to using it and getting, now we have a device. And so guys, the Love Tuner, we want to get you, to take a look at the Love Tuner and see it in person. So let's tell folks how they can connect with you with Instagram and online, and how they can get a hold of a Love Tuner right away.
I mean, the easiest is to buy it online at lovetuner.com. So we ship nationwide, free shipping. It's not expensive. I think it's $68. It's super beautiful. It comes like, that's just how the box looks like. So it's this little gift box, and there's a leaflet in there how it works. And it's also like now like it's the time of the year where people either start into the new year and whatever. And it's a beautiful thing, it's because when you give it to someone, not only if you buy it for yourself, you're basically gifting love, with the love tuner, it's gifting love. And that's a beautiful thing. But I want to say one more thing real quick, because you told me that your parents, they moved to Jamaica for Bob Marley, right?
They didn't move. No, we just went there like every single vacation. I wish. Oh my goodness, I wish. No, we just went every single vacation. That was where we went for years.
Very cool. Very cool. Cool parents.
Oh, I did score. But yeah, I wish we moved there. What would I have discovered if I would have actually moved to Jamaica? What do you know that I don't know?
No, I think it's all right. Like you can't ever go back in the past. You didn't miss anything.
Sure. Now we had plenty of great dance parties in the house with Bob Marley's music. I definitely love to groove to it. It is probably one of my favorite things to jam to, which I think there's a reason. Now, I really do hope that we can get connected with a website or updates on the music scene. Can we keep in touch with Love Tuner to find out? Will you guys be posting or?
Absolutely. Like, so when people sign up to our newsletter, so this is where we send a lot of information, also like practical exercises, from breathwork exercises, spiritual exercises. And when it comes to music, everything that we publish, we also have our own music. You can download it for free from our homepage. It's called Intunity. And it's kind of electronic lounge music, but it's all composed in 528 hertz. And it's super nice when you play it in the background. It's great when you tune. We have whatever yoga studios playing this sound while they do their Love Tuner yoga sessions. We work with spas where they play the sound in the background when they work with their patients. And it's just super cool to have it in the background running, even at home, because you hear the frequency. And then it's also a reminder that you take your tuner, you tune into the music. And I think it's so important what you just said, that people move, and dancing. And first of all, to our listener here is, don't take it so serious, like spirituality as life, it's fun. It needs to be fun. It's not going to a church, it's something where, shake your ass, dance, love, breathe, inhale love, exhale love, and that's what it is, and take life, from the sunny side.
Well said. I think on that, Sigmar, we've got a mic drop, because that's what we all need more of. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll make sure we get all the details in the podcast notes at drjkrausend.com. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey, fellow health junkie, thanks for listening to the Health Fix podcast. If you enjoyed tuning in, please help support me to get the word out about the podcast. Subscribe, rate, and review, and just get that word out. Thanks again for listening.